1.17, 1.18 let's say. Oh, 1.17, just too tight. I would like to get that through here so that I can fit a window up there. And I think I'm going to have to take apart the spiral stairs. If you regularly tune into this channel, you might be thinking, where's that monstrous crack that you were repairing? You left us on a cliffhanger. Well, that's coming, and also the cladding is coming too. I'm just playing catch up, and I didn't want to show you this video until all of the lime had cured and the window was fully fitted. I want to feel a sense of accomplishment by the end of this video. So yeah, I hope that explains it. But the other stuff is on its way, I assure you. Out of shop, you don't realise, but I took apart the spiral stairs again for the 50 millionth time. And annoyingly, I think it's going to have to come apart again to insulate the floor. But that's by the by. It was essential to get that scissor lift through, because without that I'd have to put scaffolding up on it. It'd be a bit of a pain in the backside. I wouldn't be able to put things on, lift it up, and I can have all my tools with me on the scissor lift. The scissor lift has been such a good investment. So the spiral stairs had to be taken apart, and it was a bit of a squeeze even with them apart. And then I later got this thing stuck, terribly stuck. It started chucking it down with rain, and yeah, it wasn't pretty. I did not feel like filming it. Well, I'm up on the top, and you can see that whatever's coming off the chimney is corrosive to the paint, and also corrosive to my drains. So it's fine up there, fine up there, but just below where the chimney is, just there and there, it's taking the galvanised coating off the metalwork, so maybe put something on that. Let's just try and pay attention to the bottom of this doorway. Those bricks look like they've been absolutely mullered. Someone's just boshed them off and not really put them back together properly. It hasn't been done when the building's been originally built, I don't think. But the top half of the bricks look fine, and in the bottom half they've been just brayed off. Now, I think it's been done in the early 1900s, because this bottom roof tile that's been kind of shoved onto the side has been bedded onto a lime mortar, and I don't think they'd have used that post-war. So there's a bit of a mystery to unravel here, to understand what's going on, why it's like this, and we'll get into that throughout the rest of this video. I'm showing you here that it's definitely lime mortar that's been used when the door's been installed, and that dates it. That means it's probably pre-war when it's been done. So the plot thickens a little bit. Well, this poor plywood sheet is getting chucked out of the window like a lamb to slaughter. It's a sacrifice to the scissor lift gods, because when I had the scissor lift out the first time, I really got it stuck. So this cracking and creaking, the back of this plywood sheet breaking, is for a good cause. I've often thought that this doorway is really weird. Look at the size of it, it's tiny compared to this door over here. A proper sized door. You know, if you're going to put one in, you may as well put one in. And then again, the doorway over there. Another decently sized door. And if you're building it why not build it a decent size? The other thing is, I've found how this has been put together, and all of the windows, they've got little parts in them where they fit the wood in at the top, like a lintel, and then they've got the two side rails, whereas that door, they're not fitted into the side properly. Can you see how this is just it's kind of been put in as an afterthought? Now, this building was built, I believe, to serve that side, and then later it's come into use for this side as a farm. So originally it was used as a coach house for the foundry, which is on that side of the building. Now this side was always a farm, and it's been a farm until quite recently, really. And I think that this building has been then bought by the farm, and they've thought, well, we need some decent access in there that doesn't involve going into that yard on that side. So they've smashed a hole in here, but it looks to me like there's been a window. Looking at the bricks on the side, it seems like they've smashed the bricks out and just made a full height doorway and kept the lintel in above, because the lintel above is the same height as that lintel for the other window. $85 mil. And that's about 30 mil on that side. The window reveal being asymmetrical with the door opening suggests to me that the care and attention that's been put into this hasn't been of the same level as when Round Corner was originally built. So I think that whoever's put this in has just put it in as quickly and efficiently as possible without going overboard, because they needed to be either doing something else or they need the doorway to be in ASAP because they need to use it. Well, that's my psychoanalysis of it anyway. It's a door hinge. It is. Ha! I've just grabbed one of the door hinges in. I think I might have the friend for this. Again, I'm dipping into my highly prized brick collection, which I think should be insured for at least $2 million. And yeah, it's a case of just trying to match them up the best I can with what I've got. It's hard to get the exact patina and how it's aged, but all I can do is try. I don't want to be bodging it together with roofing tiles like has been done previously. And then got the mortar cut up before getting a load of hot mix lime mortar mixed up and prepared for gluing it together. Again, with the hot mix lime mortar, I'm going to be trying to match it up to the existing stuff the best I can. I love how this drain pipe's been lashed onto the wall. on the top side it's got some nails with nuts welded onto it that have been braiding, and then here it's got these really long threaded loop bolts, and it's just, yeah, well, it works, and it's something quite charming about it. I have a terrible habit of pressing record when I don't mean to record, and then stopping the recording when I want to record. So I end up with shots like this, but this is a happy mistake because look how good that original mortar and the brickwork looks in this area. It looks fantastic, and I think it's a happy mistake, is this? Yeah, it definitely is, because it just looks fab. I'm glad I could share it. We've got some double boiled linseed oil. Right, that's it for the wooden windows upstairs, which feels fantastic. And I'd like to elaborate on my little window doorway theory. I think what's happened with this doorway is the advent of the internal combustion engine. This building, I believe, has become surplus to requirements as a coach house. This stable in here, which used to house 4 horses underneath each one of these squares, has no longer been needed. The horses aren't required for lugging equipment around because we've got petrol or diesel powered things lugging it around instead. So I think they've had to have a bit of a rethink and a reshuffle here, and that's meant that this has gone from being a stable where 4 horses would have been along here, which there was sort of runners you could see when we were breaking the floor up, how it was laid out. And this would have been a chute for putting hay down. There'd have been a cage round here before I knocked this through here, just like on that side. And they blocked it up. And I think they blocked it up with the old window shutter that was on there. The paint's the same, it looks like a window, and it's a sort of the same sort of size as this. And when I was doing the floor upstairs, it looked very window shutterish. I think it's then been owned, used, or belonged to this farm, and it's been used for cows, maybe dairy. There was some sort of milking apparatus kicking around in here. I don't know the years, maybe early 1900s, seems quite likely. I think, yeah, you might have your own ideas. You may know we've still got this crack to repair, which is an upcoming video which is going to be with you very shortly, and then we're getting on with the cladding. So I'm just sort of playing catch up with editing at the moment, but that's going to be with you pretty soon, and I'm looking forward to sharing it. So, as ever, thanks very much for watching, and I shall see you later.